Welcome back, champions. If you haven't already, go take a look at my last video explaining what is a foreign exchange market, how exchange rate works. Today, we're going to be talking about what is a PIP and how to calculate it. So first off, what is a PIP? It stands for points in percentage, or you can also say percentage in points. The easiest way to describe this is it's just a unit of measurement. So just like we measure distance by kilometers and miles or water by milliliters, it's just a decimal. It's how you measure change in the exchange rate. So what are the scenarios that we'd see this in? In most cases, it'll be the fourth decimal place. There are two exceptions though. In the Japanese yen, it'll be the second decimal place. XAU USD, also known as gold, it's the first decimal place. Let's look at three different examples. Here are the three examples we're going to look at: USD versus Canadian dollar, USD versus Japanese yen, and gold. So we're going to be looking for the guy in the blue shirt, also known as the PIP. There's a rule. Imagine that these numbers is a school bus. Whatever is left to the decimal is the driver or drivers, and whatever's to the right is the students. If we look at the first example, there's a rule that the fourth student, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the guy in the blue shirt. Using that logic, in this example, we know that the 1 is the PIP. Now, that number could have been anything, but it doesn't matter what the student looks like because he's wearing a blue shirt. We don't discriminate what number it is because a blue shirt is a blue shirt. So you're probably wondering what these little guys are. These are called the baby pips. You don't actually need them for any calculations. They're just there to throw you off. They're kind of like the Grinch, so honestly, we don't even really need to pay attention to them. Be mindful of them though when you're looking at trading apps because they will be there to throw you off. But as long as you remember these rules and that most of them are the fourth decimal place, you'll be fine. Let's go over the two exceptions though. In Japan, they do it a little bit different for some reason. There's three drivers, but we're not going to ask questions. In this example, obviously the second guy is the guy in the blue shirt. So 1, 2, that would make it 7. And then finally, we're going to look at gold. So we know that the guy wearing a blue shirt is the first, meaning it is our 9. The key to this, as long as you remember the Japanese yen and gold, and you remember that gold is the first and Japanese is the second, you'll be fine. Just always remember to look for the guy in the blue shirt. Something I personally like to trade is indices. But how you measure them is not pips, it's actually points. The three most common indices is the NASDAQ, S&P, and US 30, also known as DJ Dow Jones. We're going to look at NASDAQ for the example, but it's the same for all of them. So to clarify, the point is the unit of measurement in change in the indices market. The point, or the kid in the blue shirt, is also the whole number. So we don't look at any decimals. We look at the first number that is to the left of the decimal, first whole number. And just like in the previous example, we don't care what it looks like. We don't discriminate. We are just looking for the guy in the blue shirt. In this case, it's the 9. In this example, if this would have went from 9 to 0, you can also look at it that it went 39 to 40, which would have then been 1 point. If this 40 went to 50, then it would have went up 10 points from 40 to 50, but 11 points in total. Whether these numbers are going up or down, I want you to be aware of one thing. I started to look at it like this. This is the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So for example, if we went from 21150 to 21250, we would have went up 100 points. If we went up 21250 to 22250, we would have went up 1,000 points. This same principle applies to the foreign exchange market as well if you ever get confused with calculation. Hopefully that makes sense and you understand how a pip and point works. In the next video, I'm going to go into the differences between the three different types of accounts you can have: demo, live, and funded, and how they work.